Hey guys, Chaps here, and it's time for another developer stream recap. You may notice this one is shorter than normal, and that's because there really wasn't too much news to discuss. That said, this was an absolutely amazing stream for anyone who's interested in campaign. Greg Mitchell was on to discuss the Gears 3 campaign cinematics, and he got into some really interesting discussion. I have the main news type things, for lack of better words, clipped out for you, but seriously, it's totally worth the 90 minutes to watch the full stream. And as one other quick note before we start, tune in tomorrow afternoon to the next community discussion stream where I'll be joined by the Razored Edge, Ashes from UIU, and Arcana from the Montage community. We'll have a short stream to discuss the content creation scene and answer all of the questions from you all. You can tune into the chat to ask questions live, or you can send some over ahead of time, whatever works best. But without further ado, let's check out this recap.
Joining me today is Greg Mitchell, who is the cinematics director at the Coalition here, and was also the cinematics director way back in North Carolina, beginning in Gears 2, also on Gears 3. So he's going to walk us through some of those big, heavy, emotional moments. Right now, there are no plans to remaster Gears 2 or Gears 3, or Judgment for that matter. Nope.
Yeah, no real surprise here. They've said this many times now. So I'm not going to play out all these cutscenes, but just to give you all some context, this next clip is in regards to when Cole has his little daydream type thing, you know, where he's back on the thrash ball field and all the fans are chanting his name for him and he just runs and plants the bomb. Anyways, here's what they have to say about it.
You hear the people, saying, this is our year, Cougars. That actually was, I think, Rod, a couple of the other sound engineers who were on the crew at the time, myself, all getting into the mocap booth and doing those cheers and chants. And then one other thing that's different in this, and for me, I really wish we would have made this work, was that when he gets to the top of the steps and you hear the announcer saying, and now, number 83 of the Coal Train, the original line was his mother telling him how proud she was of him. And the line, I think, was I am so proud of you. Don't you ever forget that. And
oh wow, that would have been pretty powerful. Speaking of which, it's time for discussion around Dom's death. So
he wasn't supposed to die in this way, though.
Well, yeah, not in this way. There's actually a couple of different things of where he was supposed to die and how he was supposed to die. If you want to talk about where, okay. So again, I'm just putting what I remember. So here's what I remember about it was the fact that and this is an interesting idea, was the fact that Dom was actually going to sacrifice himself at Anvil Gate against the Lambert Berserker. So when they were fighting the Lambert Berserker in there, he actually was going to do something, sacrifice himself, kill it, and then the squad was then going to take the convoy. It was going to then do the convoy level, not to go get fuel, to actually go bury Dom.
Really?
So yeah. So the whole, again, I think it was just talked about at one time, was the fact that he was going to kill himself there, and they said we have to bury him. Where are we going to bury him? In his hometown, Mercy. We got to take him back to Mercy and bury him there. So
then you get to Maria's grave, and then that's how you kind of get there.
And then you bury Dom. So literally the whole point of what that level, the next levels of getting there, was just to bury your buddy, your friend.
Oh dang, that's pretty crazy. I think I actually would have liked that a bit more. As it stands now, the whole trip was basically for nothing. It's almost like Dom died for nothing. Changing it up would not only have made the Lambent Berserker part just absolutely insane, it was already super cool, but this would have just turned it up to 11. Anyways, not only would that have been insane, but now the trip to Mercy would be about the team going out of their way to pay respects, even through all of the Locust. I don't know, I just think it would have been better that way. And on a bit more lighthearted note, this next clip is absolutely amazing, and I really want to have a drink with Greg now.
I then joked, because I said that, this is 4-player co-op. It could be like that moment where you got the 2-player co-op with you and Dom carrying the bomb in A New Hope in Gears 2. You remember that, where you had to kind of do this, I said, think about it, you do 4-player co-op with this coffin.
Okay.
And then the other thing was that originally, when you got to Mercy, the original story was that the squad didn't split. You still had Cole and Baird with you.
Yeah.
And in Mercy, when you're going and you pick up the charges, picking up the charges in the beginning of the level. When you meet the outsider at the gate who shoots at you, and he's the one saying, it's spreading, he's closing the gate and everything, and they run to go talk to him, and he gets scared and he runs off. And then Sam says something about, wait, where have you put the other charges, and then she's frustrated. Well, there's some motion there that got cut, and that was then them noticing the charge detonator on the ground and someone picking it up. So then we were going to have some kind of ending to where they made their way back to the truck. Somehow Dom got trapped in the middle. They were still having to try and fight off all the landed humans, and Dom had all the charges and the detonator, and everyone noticed it. Marcus noticed it, and Dom was holding up the trigger and wasn't going to push the button, and Marcus was then going to start running toward him in slow motion. But they knew it was a lost cause for even trying to save him at that point, and they realized what he was doing. And it was going to be Cole then running and tackling Marcus in a thrash ball move to stop him from getting killed from trying to save Dom, who wasn't going to be saved anyhow.
Yeah.
So that was the original idea with that. Well, then there was a decision to actually create a split path. And so Baird and Cole go off on, to actually, I think they were actually getting reinforcements.
Yeah.
And then with that, it was sort of like, well, someone I think said, well, maybe Anya could take him down. And so like, well, I don't think Anya's going to be able to do the same thrash ball move that Cole did to take Marcus down. So we had to find some other way of doing it. And that's kind of how this evolved into what it is now. And so the whole idea of the charges and finding the detonator got cut. And then we didn't need that to be the reason how Dom detonates it. And then it was the fact that he then runs the truck back into the fuel station and blows everything up. So that was one of the other alternate ideas.
And there you go, a few extra tidbits. As I said before, this stream was packed full of amazing commentary. I highly suggest watching it in full. This recap barely scratched the surface. Again, don't forget to tune in tomorrow for our discussion panel. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will catch you next time.